Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Working with Gina was great because she really knows this area. I gave her the specifications of what I was looking for, and she took me right to my forever home.
I met Gina when she sold my son's home within 5 days after it hit the market. With my home, from the day the sign hit the yard to the day we signed the papers, Gina was there every step of the way. Her involvement in the sale of my home was the best decision that I made.
We never felt like Gina was pushing us to make a deal with a buyer. She knew what we wanted, and she worked diligently to get us the best offer for our properties.
Working hard for my clients to make their dreams come true. Let me work for you.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
And welcome into X Sports Today. Here, Michael Marks alongside Hayden Burks. A little bit of a small table today as we finish up here ahead of Independence Day tomorrow. And we'll jump right into the NBA. Hayden, I saw a stat last night. LeBron James set another record, obviously, because that's seemingly all he does nowadays. He has now played with the most number one overall picks of all time.
What was that, 8, 9?
With 9 now, with the most in NBA history, with the Lakers signing DeAndre Ayton last night. Not as many moves going on now as there were the first couple of days, but still some moves going on right now in the NBA. You know, we've got some winners, we've got some losers in free agency. Hey, now I kind of want to talk about the first winner out here, the Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets.
They were a number 2 seed or 3 seed, not sure, going into the playoffs last year. And, you know, it felt kind of strange because 2 years ago they were at the bottom of the West, and then all of a sudden here they are. And with trading for Kevin Durant, signing Dorian Finney-Smith, Clint Capella, Fred VanVleet, gave Jabari Smith a big extension. This seems like a team, maybe barring a couple of bench pieces, that's ready to take that next step and kind of join the Oklahoma City Thunder as kind of the cream of the crop in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of just pops up an idea for Monday when we get back from Independence Day weekend. We can do like grading, I guess, all the teams' free agency so far. But yeah, a bunch of trades going on so far in the offseason now, since free agency's kind of on the back burner a little bit. But yeah, going to Houston. They were 2 seed last year, didn't have that bona fide score, even though Jalen Green, was, I would say, I guess, their number 1 scoring option. Mm-hmm. But you had Alfred Sengun, that is a really good scorer, got drafted by Oklahoma, then traded to Houston in that draft at number 16 when he was drafted that year. You're looking at Min Thompson, one of the best two-way guards, a really young guy, too. Veteran presence in Fred VanVleet, and then trading for Kevin Durant before the trade deadline. Then you bring in Dorian Finney-Smith. They brought in somebody else,
Clint
Capella, bringing him back to Houston. So there's some guys right there, just bringing Steven Adams in. Mm-hmm. So you got your bigs. Your bigs are locked up.
And you know what you're getting with them. Those are 2 veterans that have played. Again, Clint Capella, this will be his second stint with the Rockets, and Oklahoma. And Steven Adams spent most of his career with Oklahoma City. So they're
he and Kevin are good buddies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've kind of got that repertoire.
Yeah.
Built
So I'm going to give Houston not an A+, but I'm going to give them a solid A.
And we'll talk about
free agency.
Yeah, and we'll talk about one of the biggest losers so far in free agency. It's hard to not look at the Milwaukee Bucks and the way that everything's kind of handled with Lillard, with what could be happening with Giannis soon. I mean, you pretty much cut one of your best, probably your second best player on your team at that point. Yeah. Your second best scoring option, who was going to miss next year with an injury. And I think the Bucks are still wanting to try to contend. It kind of depends on what happens with Giannis, but they don't want. I guess it was about 20 or 25 million eaten up in their cap space by a guy that can't play. So they get rid of Lillard. They're still paying him. So that kind of takes away the money thing. So now they have $25 million in cap space that they don't have for the next 5 years because of Lillard. You really you trade Pat Connaughton, which allowed Milwaukee to kind of steal Miles Turner away. it's just some weird moves.
It helps keep them a little bit under the luxury tax.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing now with the second apron tax and the penalties that come with it, because before this we didn't really see any penalties from going over the luxury tax and paying people, but
when you look at Golden State all those years, they were way over
it, and now everybody's trying to get under it, so they're not losing picks and kind of throwing their future away. But yeah, very, very interesting going on there. And Hayden, we finally got some basketball coming up. The finals just ended, but here we are Saturday. We'll have the NBA Summer League starting up. We got 4 matchups. The first one will be San Antonio and Miami. Those are 2 teams that had some high picks that are kind of looking to take that next step, and maybe you find a piece in the Summer League. Obviously, San Antonio is going to be trying out with the new top pick, Dylan Harper. Not sure if we'll see much Wemby.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Would be my assumption.
I don't know if we'll see much of Dylan Harper. I expect to see a lot of Carter Bryant, though.
Yes.
With their 14th pick. I expect to see him. In Miami, too, they took the Illinois guard, Kasparis Yakachonis. Yeah. He kind of fell a little bit farther down than what people – a lot of people had him a lottery pick lock and him falling to 20. So we'll get to see how he performs for Miami in the Summer League for that first game of the weekend.
Yeah, looking here at the Spurs Summer League roster, Stephon Castle on it. He's
I don't know if we'll see much of him. He'll play, but I don't know if we'll see much of him.
No. Let's see. Is there Carter Bryant? No. So no Carter Bryant, no Dylan Harper, or no. So really not trying out any. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
And then obviously with the Heat, Jaime Jaquez is on in that group. Josh Christopher, I remember, he was a pretty high pick, high recruit a couple years ago. So, yeah, some of these Summer League rosters are looking a little thin. You got some talent on them, but most of them aren't. You're not going to be playing your main lineup. So obviously, San Antonio, Miami, that's the first game. 3:30 on NBA TV on Saturday. Then you got the Lakers and the Warriors.
Dalton Knecht will play in that one for sure.
I would assume.
Golden State, they'll have Will Richards play from Florida, more than likely, I'd say. So, I think for, with the Lakers, us being Tennessee fans, I think this is kind of one of those things where Dalton Knecht needs to shine.
Yep, Dalton Knecht, Bronny James on the top of that.
It looks like he is on the trade block to possibly go to Miami. Saw something on Twitter. There was a report from NBA Central saying the Lakers and Miami are kind of not negotiating, but
definitely talks. Yes,
yeah, for Andrew Wiggins, and it would be like a first round pick, Dalton Knecht, and Rui Hachimura to get Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, and I'm starting to feel bad for Knecht because he was projected to be a super high pick after he had that really good season at Tennessee, and then what? He's had a couple. He had a really good start to the season with the Lakers, but then when that Luka trade the Mark Williams trade kind of fell through, it was kind of like they just threw him on the end of the bench and said, just hang out.
Yeah.
Hang
out until we find you.
Yeah. A place. Looking at the Warriors roster, the Summer League roster, Santiago Vescovi on it, former Vol.
Yep.
Cool to see him.
He's been in the G League for him.
Podziemski from the last draft. Looking to see what they can get out of him. Kevin Knox, the former Kentucky guy. Trace Jackson Davis, former Indiana guy. So
those guys need it because Podziemski, he was like one of the big roles for him. But Trace Jackson Davis, he started the season for the Warriors, and basically his minutes went to nothing toward the end of the season. So he definitely needs to have a good Summer League series. And kind of Kevin Knox, a guy that kind of really flew under the radar, was a ninth pick for the New York Knicks in the 2014, 2015 draft.
I think it was more like 2018.
2018.
But again, he spent time in the league, and he kind of came in, was a big guy for the Knicks, and then
kind
of fell apart. So hopefully he can, him and Trace Jackson Davis, are some guys along with Podziemski that are trying to kind of make that next step and be able to be productive for the Warriors. Looking at that next game, you got Memphis and Oklahoma City.
That'll be a good one.
And again, that's a good one because you always want to see what Oklahoma City has coming up next. Because
Zach Edey's going to play.
Let's look at the Grizzlies roster. Scottie Pippen Jr., a really good player. DJ Jeffries just got drafted out of Mississippi State. Zach Edey.
Yeah, who's the guy from Washington State they picked up in that trade for Portland?
Jalen Wells.
Something Coward. Cedric Coward. That's his name.
He is not on the list.
He's not playing, okay.
But Cam Spencer, former guy from UConn.
Just got picked up.
Gigi Jackson out of South Carolina. So again, this is looking like another team that's got a lot of guys. Where if you watch college basketball, this is kind of what the summer league is. It's kind of a somewhat of pickup basketball mixed with like kind of
you get to see defense,
in a college all-star game, because these are similar to the summer or similar to preseason NFL games. These are kind of guys fighting for their spots, because
these are guys fighting for their job.
Exactly,
because they want to be able to play basketball
in the United States. Yeah, they don't want to have to go overseas, but sometimes that's the best option. Taking a look here at the Thunder Summer League roster, it's got let's see who we got. Jack Golke. Everybody remembers the guy that tore Kentucky apart in the tournament.
Nikola Topic, is he going to play or is he still hurt? Because I know he's
not on the list. Keontae Johnson, remember spent some time at Florida and then had that scary injury and came
Kansas
back.
State, yep.
And he's kind of back out there. Adam Flagler from Baylor. Yep. You got Jaden Shackelford, former Bama guard. Not as crazy of a lineup here. Obviously, Cormac Ryan, the former wing guy for North Carolina. Just kind of some of those guys that you remember from college basketball. And then our last game of Saturday, we got the Sixers, we got the Jazz. Will we get to see? I
don't think we'll see Ace Bailey.
I would say, do you think we'll get to see Ace Bailey? Finally signed his contract, so
we're gonna see VJ Edgecombe. I know that he'll play.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would
he'll
bet
play.
that.
Jared McCain will play. A bunch of their young guys that they'll probably play.
Man, this Jazz roster is kind of good. You got Kyle Filipowski, Armando Baycott, some big guys from Duke and Carolina.
Walter Clayton, is he playing? Or is he
no, he's not listed. Now these, it's on NBA.com, so whether it's their actual rosters or not, you got Isaiah Collier, the guard out of USC. USC. He was a early round draft pick last year. Cody Williams was a high draft pick last year. So. A pretty talented Jazz lineup, and then again looking at the Sixers, this is a team that's looking to make some moves. Jared McCain on the summer league roster. Some of these guys I'm surprised to see up here. Like Jared McCain, obviously, Ricky Council, a young guy out of Arkansas. You got Darius Days. Romeo Langford, a former Boston Celtics draft pick. Yeah. So, it's a
lottery pick too.
Yeah, former lottery pick. So a lot of guys trying to make that last little stay in the league. And then on Sunday you got the Lakers and the Heat, and then San Antonio and Golden State. Both of those games on NBA TV. But yeah, pretty much.
Where does Detroit play? That's what I want.
Of course, Pistons.
Ziegler and Lanier going to be teamed up.
Looks like Detroit's first game is next Friday. Another week before really everybody gets underway. There's just these early games. They usually have the number 1 and number 2 overall picks play each other first, but that does not seem to be the case this year here with the NBA Summer League. But again, it's always a fun time. There in the NBA,
getting to see real basketball.
Yeah, getting to see some guys fight. This is when you get to see guys the most desperate. This is like the fourth quarter of the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. This is like the Game 7 of the NBA Finals for them. They got to claim their
guys like Sakai Ziegler. They're going to play harder than a VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah. So. Maybe we'll see Chaz Lanier out there. The Pistons could be a fun team to watch if you're a Tennessee fan. So coming up next, we'll talk about the little MLB. We got some All-Star lineups, and then a big milestone for a legend coming up next.
At Flora Mid-South Realty, we pride ourselves on our family values, professional service, and a deep local knowledge. With a small town feel and a personal touch, we're here to help you navigate the real estate process with ease. Whether buying, selling, or renting, you can trust us to guide you every step of the way. And don't forget to catch Flora Rockstars, our live podcast every Tuesday morning at 8. Flora Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Flora Mid-South Realty, your hometown real estate experts.
A&M Medical is Lawrence County's newest medical clinic, specializing in urgent and primary care. Practitioners Andrea Bain and Meredith Hutton bring years of experience and compassion to keep you and your family healthy. A&M Medical features a separate well waiting room to meet your needs. Visit today and ask about A&M's weight loss program and telemedicine services. That's A&M Medical, located at 2367 Highway 43 South in Leoma, Tennessee.
The Raptor Series from Hustler Turf. a premium line of residential mowers designed with a wide stance for operator comfort, a one-piece 11-gauge steel frame and welded steel deck for added durability, finished off with premium Kawasaki V-twin power. We are Hustler Turf, and this is Hustler Country.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle Hammock, General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, your Chevy GMC dealer in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. I'm from Marshall County, Tennessee, where I went to Cornersville High School. I attended Cumberland University. After Cumberland, I went into the United States Marine Corps to serve the country. After that, I went right back into the car business. I'm very familiar with the car business. I have been around the car business pretty much my entire life. And my commitment to you is to ensure the most competitive new and used vehicle pricing on the market, as well as the best service around. Well, we'll treat you like family here at Heritage Automotive in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Volco Auto Supply in Lawrenceburg has a legacy of being a family-owned and operated company. Since 1927, our business has grown and evolved into today's one-stop source for all your automotive supplies. But in that time, one thing has stayed the same, and that's our commitment to our customers and their needs. At Volco Auto Supply, you'll find everything for your car, truck, or even fleet of vehicles, but with good old-fashioned customer service the way it needs to be. That's Volco Auto Supply, 416 Buffalo Road in Lawrenceburg. Visit VolcoAuto.com.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
And welcome back to X Sports Today. Second segment, we got a lot of baseball to talk about, Hayden. We got some new MLB power ratings put out by ESPN. We'll just go over the top five. Number 5, the Cubs, 51-35. You know, they're making a good win last night against a pesky Cleveland Guardians team. Houston Astros at number 4. We just saw 4 and 5 play last week, and obviously with the Astros getting the series win, they kind of flip flopped in the ratings. Number 3, the Phillies. They look really good. Zach Wheeler has a .58 ERA in the month of June, so if he can keep that up, looking at maybe your National League Cy Young right there. Detroit and LA have been 1 and 2 pretty much most of the season.
Well, no, I'm not going to say Detroit being Detroit because they've been bad in the past. But hey, Detroit's on the uprise, baby.
Yeah,
come on.
Detroit's on the come up. It's looking like those 2012, 2013 Tigers teams that were making the push for the World Series. Tarek Skubal, probably the best pitcher in the American League, a lefty, and it's hard to hit.
Might be the best pitcher in the league.
He's probably the best pitcher up right now. It's between him, Zach Wheeler, and maybe Garrett Crochet, and the number 1, the Dodgers. I mean, you spend $10 billion on a lineup, then you're going to be the best team in baseball.
Of course, there's no salary caps.
Yeah, there's no salary cap in baseball, and they're just going to defer all their payments from 50 years from now. But we saw how that worked out for the Mets. I'm kind of curious to see what the Dodgers are going to look like in 20 years when they're still having to pay.
When they're still having to the tank. That was absolutely what I was thinking.
And they're still paying Shohei Ohtani his $700 million. But looking over, we got the All-Star starters last night revealed on right before the Wednesday night baseball game. We'll look at the American League. You got Cal Raleigh starting to catcher, obviously. Batting .270 with OPS over 1,000, 33 homers, 71 RBIs. This will be his first All-Star start. At first base, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the Blue Jays. Batting a hair under 280. 12 home runs, 44 RBIs. This will be his 4th start. In the All-Star game, another first-year guy, Gleyber Torres, from the second baseman from the Tigers. He's had a pretty good year, 9 home runs, 43 RBIs, his first start. Probably the most intriguing lineup, and this will be every old-timey baseball fan's probably favorite player today if you don't know who it is. Jacob Wilson, the shortstop from the Athletics. It's his first full year being up. He's batting .340. He has, he's not a big home run guy, but he doesn't strike out. In 80-something games this year, he's only struck out 9 times, has walked twice as many times, so making his first career start. Jose Ramirez making his 4th start, batting over 300 and 850 OPS. He had like a 30-35 game hit streak going on at one point this year. And then your outfield will consist of Riley Green, the Detroit Tiger, not the country music singer. Javier Baez, good to see him back in the limelight with Detroit, batting .285 with 800 OPS, 9 home runs, 40 RBIs, close to his third. It'll be his third start. And then the longest tenured guy out of any All-Star, Aaron Judge from the Yankees. Yeah. His stats are absurd. He's batting .363. He has an on-base percentage of .470. He's slugging .735, so he's got a 1,200 OPS before the All-Star break, which is absurd. There's only one other All-Star that I haven't named yet. Obviously, Cal Raleigh was above 1,000, and Ronald Acuna, who's only played a couple games, and then obviously Shohei above 1,000 OPS. 31 homers, 70 RBIs. It's his 7th start. And then DH Ryan O'Hearn from the Baltimore Orioles. He's batting close to 300. 11 home runs his first start. And then the National League, you got Will Smith. Will Smith on the Dodgers, different Will Smith from not the Bel Air, Freddie Freeman. Everybody around here remembers his time with the Braves, batting .310 still. So you're still getting the same old Freddie. A 400 on base percentage, nearly a 900 OPS. His 5th start. And it was kind of strange to realize this, but Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Shohei Ohtani all have the same amount of career starts in the All-Star game. I was talking to
Freddie's all way older than all them.
Oh yeah, I would say I was talking to Taylor about it earlier, mentioning it. I was like, Freddie's been around for almost 15 years, and Shohei kind of just popped up right before the COVID year, and they got the same amount of All-Star starts. Yeah. At second base, Ketel Marte, love to see him getting the start here, getting some respect out there in Arizona. He's batting .300 right now. His OPS is 1 point under 1,000, so a .999 OPS, 18 homers, 40 RBIs. His 3rd start. Probably the weakest out of any of the starters here, Francisco Lindor. I'm not sure who he was going up against, but let me actually find that real quick. It was Mookie Betts. So I guess they just didn't want too many Dodgers in this or something. Lindor only batting .260 on the year.
You can't have as many Dodgers as the Braves had.
Yeah.
Braves had
the entire
infield. The whole infield was the Braves.
Third base Manny Machado, he's having a quiet good year. 289 batting average, slugging over 800, 13 home runs, 50 RBIs. His 4th start. And then Ronald, who's played about 30 games now this year. Most guys by the All-Star break will have a little over 90 games played, but 350 batting average, OPS over 1050, 9 home runs, 18 RBIs in 30 games is incredibly good. So, even though he hasn't played as much, a very deserving start. And then a pair of Cubs finishing out the outfield. His first career start in center probably will be in center field. Pete Crow Armstrong. Definitely not the sexiest hitting stats, only around 270 batting average, but 21 home runs feels like out of nowhere. Yeah. He's not known as a big power bat. 60 RBIs, very good start to the year. I mean, that kid's electric. He had a triple and overran third base last night, and it was probably the most exciting play of the game. And then Kyle Tucker, just a good baseball player. 290 batting average, 530 slugging, OPS over 900, close to 20 home runs and 50 RBIs. And then rounding out at DH will be Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers. He's batting close to 290 as well. OPS at 1015, and then 30 home runs, 56 RBIs in his 5th career start. So a lot of new faces.
A lot of names, a lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces. It's we're kind of at that spot in most sports now where we're kind of seeing the end of one generation. We talked about it last week with the quarterbacks that we kind of grew up with. We're into that new generation of quarterbacks. In the NBA, we're about to lose the
that generation.
And the Kevin Durant's and the
James Harden's on.
That group. And now in baseball, we're starting to get a bunch of new names. So it's very exciting for people just now getting into the sport. Again, the American League has 5 first-time starters, and the National League has 3. So a bunch of new faces. The pitching staffs will be, who's starting and stuff like that will be announced later. Believe probably next week. So, actually a little bit of history last night, Hayden. So there were 19 Major League Baseball games last night, 4 doubleheaders. It was the most on a single day in Major League Baseball since August 8th of 1979. So a bunch of baseball yesterday, a bunch of doubleheaders, and then probably the biggest story of the night, Clayton Kershaw got his 3,000th strikeout last night. It was not a very pretty outing for him, and definitely not one he would want to remember other than the 3,000th strikeout. They had to get a walk-off win against the White Sox, which probably nobody would want to admit, but let me pull up. Went 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, only 3 strikeouts. He only needed 3, got to 3. Took him a minute. I believe it was the 5th inning when he finally got to it, but joins the 3,000 strikeout club. Props to Clayton Kershaw. He's been around for a long time, and he's been one of the best for a very long time. Kershaw is now, again, the 20th member of the 3,000 strikeout club, only the 4th lefty. Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, and CC Sabathia, and we talked about that list.
Randy being there.
And we talked about that list yesterday, how prestigious it was. So, it's a big deal to get the 3,000 strikeout club.
Like I said, it's probably one of those things where it's like, golly, I'm just one away. I'm one away.
Well, it's like the Mr. 3000, the baseball movie, the guy that they had ruled one of his hits an error or something like that, and he had to come back and try to get that 3,000th hit.
Give me my ball.
Yeah.
Give me my ball.
And then last night, some kind of local news. Former Laredo Mustang and Tennessee Volunteer Blade Tidwell got not the start. They brought somebody in as an opener role, but got the win out of the bullpen technically for the Mets against the Brewers last night. Again, his first career win, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. A very good start for Blade. Got his first win, and it was a game that if looking at the social media feelings before the game. The Mets had just lost the first game of the doubleheader, and then you had Blade starting against Jacob Mizorowski in the second one, and the Mets fans were just thinking, oh no. But Blade gave him a very good quality outing out of the bullpen. Mizorowski got lit up for his first loss, so no matter where those two guys' careers go, Blade got his first win against a very good pitcher, and maybe the Mets are starting to look up. They've had a bit of a rough stretch lately.
Blade, he's maturing in front of the eyes of them, those fans, and
because he's had some good startings. He's had some not the best, but he's starting to consistently get more starts with the Mets. And
like I said, I think we're going to see Blade a whole lot more within the next year or so. I'd say.
It could be a very good bullpen piece for the Mets. We've got some more names in the All-Star in the Home Run Derby. Obviously, we've had Seattle's Cal Raleigh and Atlanta's Ronald Acuna. Those names have been announced for a couple of days, but today the Washington Nationals' James Wood enters. So this could be a really, really good Home Run Derby. That one will be Monday, July the 14th, I believe, is the day. Yeah. The All-Star game is on a Tuesday. It just gotta love All-Star games during the summer. So for Major League Baseball, we got I think the Futures game will be on that Saturday or Sunday. So a lot of baseball coming up in Atlanta not this weekend, but the next weekend. Atlanta's got a lot going on that weekend. They got a full weekend of WWE with Saturday night's main event and then the Evolution pay-per-view event, and then the All-Star break. So a big weekend coming up for Atlanta. And coming up next, we got a little soccer. We got a little update on the Red Panda. We got some new football uniforms and more coming up next on X Sports Today.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Good Works at Home, formerly known as the Summit at Home, is a licensed non-skilled agency dedicated to helping you maintain your independence at home for as long as possible. Our compassionate and caring staff provide support in various areas, including dressing, bathing, personal hygiene, transportation, cleaning, and companionship. Please call our office about services, payment options, and long-term care policies at 931-762-2310. We look forward to assisting you with keeping your independence longer.
Efficiency, reliability, accuracy. Move forward with your real estate sale or purchase with Title and Escrow of Lawrence County, the most experienced closing team around. Working with clients locally and throughout the state, we offer a wide range of services, including the expertise of an on-staff attorney, backed by our more than 49 years' experience in titles and closings. We get the job done on time at a fair price and ensure every last detail is correct. Our goal is to give you peace of mind. When you work with us, you work with people who live where you do. We understand the importance of the real estate community and strive to build strong relationships with all parties involved in the process. Whether you're buying a home, selling a business, acquiring land, or anything in between, you're in good hands with Title and Escrow of Lawrence County.
Put the most experienced closing team on your side. Contact Title and Escrow of Lawrence County today.
Want to take the next steps in taking care of your health? Tennessee Valley Allergy Services can make your goals a reality. Their team of doctors, nurses, and medical professionals are dedicated to providing allergy care and treatment, such as drops and shots, to fit your exact needs. Their expert services are for anyone ages 2 and older. Whether you struggle with environmental or food allergies, they've got you covered. Discover a better you at Tennessee Valley Allergy Services, located right next to the Zaxby's in Lawrenceburg. Book online or call 931-325-0757 to schedule your appointment today.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
All right, welcome back to our final segment here on X Sports Today. Michael Marks, Hayden Burks. And Hayden, this is kind of like our fun segment. We just throw a couple little stories in there. So we got the CONCACAF Gold Cup final set after last night. The U.S. defeated Guatemala 2-1. He had two exciting first half goals from Diego Luna, some big saves from Matt Freese. So congrats to the U.S. as they advance to the Gold Cup final, and they will face Mexico, who defeated Honduras 1-0.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, I can hopefully that will be a more the final will be a more exciting 90 minutes than that one. Only. One little bit of action right there. But that game coming up Sunday, July 6th, USA versus Mexico, CONCACAF Gold Cup final. So, go Team USA. It would be cool to get a win a couple days after Independence Day. And then the U.S. women's national team had a game yesterday in D.C., a friendly against Canada. They won 3-0. Yep. So, U.S. women's national team still looks like the kind of the top dog in women's soccer. Yeah. Probably the biggest story of the day, at least that concerns us, Tennessee reveals their new smoky gray uniforms for the 2025 season. It's got a lot of meanings behind it, some symbolism. It was to I guess it was a military honor
awareness, yeah.
So
awareness thing.
Obviously, while they released, revealed them the day before. So let me pull this up. Yeah. So it's got these
same smoke gray.
Yeah, it's a. That we had that deal with Nike a couple years ago. They announced it, I believe, the day before, the day of the LSU game when we went down to Baton Rouge and we wore our gray jerseys. Mm-hmm. And so they announced that the next 3 years, 2023, 2024, and then this fall, they were going to have 3 different variants of the smoky gray uniform. And this is another example of a smoky gray that I hated when I first saw it. I saw the jersey leak yesterday. I'm like, oh my goodness. And that was my same opinion for the other two. But now, seeing the meaning behind it, seeing the full uniform and seeing it on a player, it's definitely kind of changed my opinions of it. There's these gray stripes on the shoulders and then kind of down the middle of the helmet. It's kind of to a modern take on Davy Crockett's fringed uniform that he wore. You got the stencil numbers, kind of a military thing, and then obviously the little thing above the helmet. It's got the Vols logo with the star in the O. That was it says this particular logo returns for the first time since the turn of the century. And the program's decade of dominance in the 90s appears as both a military-inspired patch and the front helmet bumper. So new gray uniforms for Tennessee. I think they look pretty good. They'll wear them, I believe, against New Mexico State when they play them this season. But yeah, very, very cool to see that.
I wish the pants were the same color as the top.
That was the first thing that bothered me.
I get what they're doing, yeah.
with the two-tone?
Yeah, the two-tone, making it look like they're wearing army pants or something like that. But yeah, that's just my preference. I still think they look really good.
Yeah, obviously very good. I'm glad that they're not wearing them the first home game of the season because it felt kind of weird. Because last season Tennessee didn't wear their traditional home uniform, which is the white helmet, orange jersey, white pants, until Florida came to town October 12th. So good
my birthday too.
Yeah, and not wearing your traditional home uniform till halfway through the season can definitely rub fans kind of the wrong way. But again, that's a kind of a tribute to the military, and obviously, that's how Tennessee got their volunteer name, with volunteering and helping out at the Alamo, and now we got a uniform about it. A little update on the Red Panda. We talked about her. She had that fall during the Commissioner's Cup game for the WNBA. Has a broken wrist. Might require surgery. I think I read something that she was going to consult with some doctors, but as of now she's home resting, trying to get better, and for now the plan is to be ready to start by the next season. So year number 32 coming up for Red Panda. Again, probably the best halftime entertainer in sports right now. And then a little fun anniversary. 13 years ago, if anybody's ever watched bowling, they've seen one clip. The famous clip of Pete Weber after he clinched the 2012 U.S. Open in bowling. Who do you think you are? I am. So that was 13 years ago today. Awesome. So Pete Weber, one of the best. I don't know if they did like a 30 for 30 or a mini documentary, like an E60 on him. I definitely would recommend that. He's an interesting character.
Also, we saw the odds for who's going to win the hot dog eating contest. Joey Chestnut, negative 1,600 as well.
So you put like $100 on him and you win like $100.16 back, I guess. Something like that.
I got Joey winning. That's all.
Yeah. And he says he's going to try to go for another record this year. And he went a couple years in a row breaking a record every year, and then kind of slowed down in 2021, but didn't get to participate last year. We was a little mad about that. So. And this is the guy who has the mentality that he doesn't want to retire until he's dead and gone. So everybody will be cheering on. Hopefully, everybody will be cheering on Joey Chestnut tomorrow. But yeah, that's all we got for today on this episode of Exports Today. Tomorrow I got the 4th of July, so I hope everybody has a great Independence Day. Eats a lot of hot dogs, watches a lot of fireworks, and drinks a ton of water because it will be a hot one. And we'll be doing the same. And we'll see you next week here on the Exports Network.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.